In many European cities, overtourism have become a serious problem that is causing overcrowding, environmental damage, and a decline in the standard of living. This phenomenon affects well-known travel destinations like Venice, Barcelona, and Dubrovnik, where visitor numbers frequently exceed local population. These 8 cities have been particularly impacted. Number 8. Venice, Italy. Built on the water, Venice has long been a well-liked travel destination, drawing in about 25 million tourists a year. But with only 40,000 people living in the city, the incredible volume of visitors has resulted in extreme overcrowding and environmental damage. In famous locations like Street Marks Square and the Rialto Bridge, where congested walkways and bridges are unable to handle the sheer number of people, the influx of tourists, especially during the busiest times of the year, causes congestion. In addition to detracting from the experience of visitors, this overcrowding puts resident daily lives at risk and endangers their safety. The effects on the environment are equally worrisome because big cruise ships contaminate the water and physically harm the city's fragile infrastructure. Venice has taken a number of steps in recent years to address these problems, such as capping tour group sizes at 25, outlawing loudspeakers to lessen noise pollution, and enacting a new day visitor fee structure that necessitates advance registration and payment. The daily flood of tourists is intended to be controlled while protecting Venice's cultural legacy and enhancing the lives of its citizens who have long complained about the overbearing presence of visitors. However, others contend that in order to effectively address the city's over-tourism crisis, more drastic measures like limiting the number of visitors or perhaps outright outlawing cruise ships may be required. Number 7. Dubrovnik, Croatia. Over 1.4 million tourists visit Dubrovnik annually, a city well known for its breathtaking medieval architecture and for serving as a filming location for Game of Thrones. There are only roughly 1,550 people living in the old town, so this influx is especially troublesome. The city's historic sites and winding streets are frequently overcrowded, raising worries about permanent harm to the city's legacy. Large numbers of tourists have flooded the city in a short amount of time, contributing to noise pollution and overcrowding. This has been made worse by the increase in cruise ship arrivals. Due to the demands of tourism, many locals have reported a decline in their quality of life and are leaving the city. As a result, the government of Dubrovnik has started enacting laws that will restrict the daily number of cruise ship passengers that can disembark and encourage travel during the off-season to relieve congestion during the busiest months. These initiatives seek to preserve the city's character while making sure that it continues to be a desirable travel destination for coming generations. To properly address the issues raised by Dubrovnik's over-tourism, some contend more thorough planning and infrastructure spending are required. Number 6. Barcelona, Spain. Due to its distinctive architecture, rich cultural history, and energetic atmosphere, Barcelona is a bustling city that welcomes about 15.6 million visitors annually. Overcrowding in well-known locations like La Rambla and the Sagrada Familia is just one of the major issues brought on by this spike in tourism. Because of growing costs and the commercialization of local neighborhoods, the 1.6 million person population frequently feels the strain of this influx, which lowers quality of life. The city has taken a number of steps to address these issues, including outlawing new tourist attractions and vacation rentals in specific locations in an effort to divert visitors to less congested areas. Barcelona has also supported programs to support responsible tourism, encouraging tourists to venture beyond the city's most well-known sites. These tactics aim to develop a more sustainable tourism model that benefits tourists and the surrounding area equally. To really relieve the strain on the city's resources and infrastructure, some contend that more drastic measures like capping the number of visitors or limiting the number of cruise ship arrivals might be required. Number 5. Amsterdam, Netherlands. Amsterdam is a popular tourist destination with nearly 20 million visitors annually, despite only having 800,000 residents. Its picturesque canals and rich history make it a must-see. Much overcrowding has resulted from the city's popularity, especially in tourist hotspots like the Museum Quarter and the Red Light District, where visitors frequently outnumber residents. Because of the noise, litter, and commercialization of their neighborhoods, residents are facing an increase in tension. The city has instituted a number of measures to counteract over-tourism, such as prohibiting the opening of new tourist shops and promoting lesser-known sites to more fairly split the number of visitors. Additionally, Amsterdam is working to improve public transportation and enhance the overall visitor experience while ensuring that local communities are not adversely affected by the influx of tourists. These initiatives reflect a growing recognition of the need for sustainable tourism practices that respect both the city's heritage and its residents. However, some argue that more comprehensive solutions, such as limiting the number of vacation rentals or introducing a tourist tax to fund infrastructure improvements, may be necessary to truly address the challenges posed by over-tourism in Amsterdam. Number 4. Dublin, Ireland. Extremely well liked by visitors who come in their millions to take in the city's lively culture and extensive history. But this influx has resulted in overcrowding, especially around Trinity College and in places like Temple Bar. Because there isn't enough lodging and public transportation options to meet the growing demand, the city's infrastructure may not be able to support the rapid growth in tourism. In addition, residents have voiced their displeasure with growing living expenses, which are partly due to the increase in visitors. The City Council of Dublin is investigating a number of strategies to control the number of tourists in order to address these issues. These strategies include encouraging travelers to travel during off-peak hours and to explore less crowded locations. These initiatives seek to find a middle ground between preserving the high standard of living for locals and attracting tourists. To really lessen the negative effects of excessive tourism on Dublin's infrastructure and neighborhood communities, some contend that larger expenditures in affordable housing and public transit are required. Number 3. Florence, Italy. Millions of tourists visit Florence every year, attracted by its famous sites like the Florence Cathedral and the Uffizi Gallery. The city is well known for its art and history. The excessive number of visitors, however, can cause serious problems like long lines and congested streets, which make the experience less enjoyable for both tourists and locals. Because of the potential for damage from excessive foot traffic to historic sites, the pressure of tourism has created concerns about the preservation of Florence's cultural heritage. In response, to try to disperse visitors more fairly throughout the city, local authorities have launched programs to promote lesser-known locations and timed entry systems for popular attractions. These strategies are designed to ensure that Florence remains a vibrant cultural hub while safeguarding its historical treasures for future generations. However, some argue that more comprehensive measures, such as limiting the number of visitors allowed in the city center or introducing a congestion charge, may be necessary to truly alleviate the pressure on Florence's historic core. Number 2. Santorini, Greece. One of the most popular tourist destinations in Greece is Santorini, which is renowned for its breathtaking sunsets, quaint villages, and distinctive volcanic landscapes. Due to over-tourism, the island's small size and inadequate infrastructure have created serious problems, particularly during the busiest summer months when the number of visitors soars from 15,000 to over 2 million. Environmental deterioration has resulted from this surge, which puts tremendous strain on regional resources like waste management and water systems. In response, the island's local government is looking into ways to control the number of visitors, like charging admission to well-known locations and encouraging travel during off-peak hours to protect the island's scenic landscape and rich cultural legacy. These initiatives aim to strike a balance between accommodating tourists and protecting the island's unique environment for future generations. Number 1. Budelli Island, Sardinia, Italy. Spiaggia Rossa, the gorgeous pink beach on Budelli Island in the Maddalena archipelago, is well known but in danger due to over-tourism. Tourist foot traffic has ruined the beach's distinctive pink color, which is the result of a microorganism. Local authorities have put in place stringent rules, such as prohibiting access to the beach and fining offenders, to safeguard this delicate ecosystem. The sensitive environment is protected thanks to controls on visitor access that have been in place for more than 30 years. In order to preserve Budelli's natural beauty for future generations and yet permit responsible tourism practices, these initiatives emphasize the significance of striking a balance between tourism and environmental conservation. To properly protect these unique environments, some contend more extensive measures may be required, such as restricting the number of visitors to the Maddalena archipelago or instituting a reservation system for island access. These cities exemplify the complex challenges posed by over-tourism, underscoring the need for sustainable practices that protect both cultural heritage and the quality of life for local residents. While the measures implemented by these cities are a step in the right direction, many argue that more comprehensive and long-term solutions are necessary to truly address the impact of over-tourism on these European destinations. If you liked our video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel.